Some players score the biggest penalty of their life and just walk away. No smile, no fist pump, nothing. That's weird, right? Scoring a penalty is supposed to be one of the happiest moments in football, so why do some players treat it like they just paid a parking ticket? By the end of this video, you'll understand the secret rule behind penalty celebrations and why staying silent can actually be the smartest move on the entire field. First, quick refresher for anyone new to football. A penalty kick happens when a player gets fouled inside the box, which is basically the danger zone right in front of the goal. As punishment, the attacking team gets one free shot from just 12 yards away, with only the goalkeeper standing in the way. It's one of the highest scoring chances in the entire sport. Most penalties go in, so scoring one should feel routine. But here's where it gets interesting. Sometimes the player taking the penalty used to play for the exact team he's now scoring against, and that changes everything. Imagine spending 5 years at a club. You wore their jersey, you trained with those players, fans sang your name every weekend, then you get transferred somewhere else. A year later, you're standing on the penalty spot against your old team. You score. The stadium goes silent except for one section, your former fans, who now feel personally betrayed. This is where the unwritten rule kicks in. Players don't celebrate against clubs they used to play for. It's basically a silent code across football, not written in any rule book, not enforced by referees, just respected. Why does this rule even exist? Because celebrating in that moment can look like you're rubbing it in, like you're saying, "Look how easily I beat you." And former fans, the same people who once loved you, they take that personally. Quick pattern interrupt here because this isn't just some old school gentleman's agreement. There's a psychological reason behind it too. Humans remember betrayal way more intensely than loyalty. If a player celebrates against his former club, highlight reels replay it for years. Fans build entire grudges around 3 seconds of joy, so smart players learn early, silence protects your image. Let's bring in a real example beginners will actually recognize. Cristiano Ronaldo, arguably the most famous footballer alive, has scored penalties against former clubs multiple times. Instead of his usual explosive celebration, he does something almost robotic. He turns around, jogs back, says nothing. That's not an accident. That's strategy. And here's something most casual fans don't realize. This restraint often earns more respect than a wild celebration would. Fans notice humility. They remember it. It can literally protect a player's reputation for years. But not celebrating isn't just about respect. Sometimes it's about self-protection. Some players avoid celebrating penalties specifically because penalties are seen as easy goals. Scoring a free shot with no defenders in your way isn't exactly a heroic moment. Some players feel embarrassed celebrating something that looks too simple, especially compared to scoring from outside the box or dribbling past 5 defenders. Think of it like this. Imagine winning a race because everyone else tripped. Would you celebrate the same way as if you outran them fair and square? Probably not. That's the exact mindset some professionals have about penalties. Now here's a surprising twist. Some managers actually tell players not to celebrate penalties against former clubs, not for emotional reasons, but strategic ones. Why? Because provoking rival fans can backfire. It can fire up the opposing crowd. It can turn a quiet away game into an explosive, hostile atmosphere. One celebration can shift momentum for the entire match, so silence isn't weakness. It's control. Let's zoom out for a second because this connects to something bigger about football culture. Unlike American sports where celebrations are loud, dramatic, and expected, football has this deep unspoken respect system. Players judge each other not just on skill, but on class. How you handle victory matters just as much as the victory itself. That's very different from most sports fans are used to. So next time you see a player score a huge penalty and just walk away, you'll know exactly what's happening. It's not awkwardness, it's not disappointment. It's respect, strategy, and unwritten football law all wrapped into one quiet moment. Football isn't just about goals, it's about meaning behind them. If this made you see the game differently, subscribe because we're breaking down the hidden psychology of football, one video at a time.